Helicopters in these parts are the lifeline for small Inuit communities. They provide all services, especially in times of crisis.
We are the ambulance and driving for the police and everything, so we serve all the small community here.
Below, thousands of icebergs, the result of the outflow of nearby glaciers draining the Greenland ice sheet. Then the iceberg in question. It is huge, 100 meters high, 300 wide. Behind it you can make out the settlement of Innaarsuit, sprawled up a hillside. On the ground, a community of around 170 people. There are families, there are children. Their bread is on the waters. They fish and hunt, and they're used to icebergs drifting by, but never this close and never this big.
Normally icebergs are not that high, they're low and wide, but this one is very high, which made it frightening.
This video shows chunks of ice cascading into the water, causing life-threatening waves to crash into the shoreline. Several homes had to be evacuated. There was concern for the village's power generator and fuel tanks, and boats were dragged up the hillside. We motor out towards the iceberg. It has now shifted away from the harbour entrance, not as dangerous as it was, but still presenting a threat. It could calve at any time. Fisherman KNUD ELIASSEN has never seen a berg this big so close.
It actually came pretty fast in front of the village. They saw the danger and so they evacuated some houses and prepared for what could happen. Then there was a big wind and it blew it outside here.
It's hoped the iceberg will now slowly head out to sea, nudged along by wind and current. Evacuated residents are back in their homes. Life is beginning to return to normal, making the most of the short summer. A quiet time for the dogs ahead of a winter of sledge pulling.
They think about how dangerous it is to be here when there's a big iceberg in front of them, and they cannot really sleep because they're kind of expecting that it's going to calve in a minute or in an hour. So of course they cannot really rest, but they won't change their lives for nothing, and they want to stay here because of the fishing opportunities and hunting opportunities all year round.
So what to make of all this? Well, there's no way that you can attribute this iceberg to climate change specifically, but there's no doubt that there's a growing incidence of iceberg production here in Greenland over the last 100 years, and occurrences and threats like this one may continue as time goes on. And add to that the changing sea ice conditions these communities are witnessing, it is very apparent that things are shifting here in the Arctic, where global temperature change is more keenly felt than anywhere else on Earth. Nick Clark, Al Jazeera, Innaarsuit, Greenland.